There is magic in the spoken word, a divine alchemy that transforms the invisible into the visible, the unseen dream into radiant form. Every word you utter carries vibration, color, and power. Your tongue is the brush that paints the canvas of your destiny, and the tones you speak are dipped in the gold or the dust of your own thought. Speak lack, and lack surrounds you. Speak love, and the world opens its arms. Speak faith, and doors swing wide that once were bolted by fear. Man forgets that he is a creator. He tosses words into the air carelessly, never knowing that they will return multiplied, bearing fruit after their kind. A word of anger plants thorns. A word of praise plants lilies. The soil of the universe is obedient. It cannot help but grow what is sown. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the gardener of your own life, and your words are the seeds. When you speak with faith, your words go forth clothed in light, commanding substance to arrange itself according to your decree. They do not falter, they do not fail. They travel into the unseen, gathering the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities, until the thing spoken becomes the thing seen. Say, everything I desire is already mine, and the universe stirs to fulfill the law. But speak, I can't, and your own words close the gate through which your blessings would enter. Each word should be chosen as a jeweler selects a gem, polished with thought, lifted with purpose, shining with truth. The word I am is the key to every treasure chest. When you say I am prosperous, you summon prosperity. When you say I am weak, you invite defeat. The I am is divine. It is the name of power itself. To misuse it is to misuse your own creative authority. There are those who speak golden words and wonder why their lives remain tarnished. It is because the tongue cannot bless, while the heart curses. Words must be spoken from belief, not from mere repetition. To speak gold, you must feel gold. Feel the wealth, the peace, the love, before it comes. The spoken word, charged with emotion, becomes a magnet drawing its equal from the unseen. Let every word you utter be filled with praise. Speak blessing over your work, your home, your body, your loved ones, even over your so-called enemies. Praise lifts every vibration. It turns darkness into light. The one who blesses cannot be cursed, for his words are his shield. The moment you master your words, you master your world. Speak only what you wish to live. Refuse to rehearse lack or illness or fear. Declare the good, and the good shall appear. For your words are gold. They shimmer with divine power, and when spoken in faith, they shape the very substance of life into beauty, abundance, and joy. Words are not mere sounds that fall into silence. They are the unseen architects of reality, the subtle sculptors of every experience that comes into being. Every spoken word carries a vibration, a frequency that impresses itself upon the invisible substance of life. When you speak, you are not simply communicating, you are commanding. The air between your lips and the world beyond is alive, responsive, obedient to the tone of your voice and the thought that fuels it. The ancients knew this truth long before the modern world cloaked it in skepticism. That speech is power, and words are creative forces that shape reality. Every time you say something, you are setting into motion a cause that will, in its own season, return to you as an effect. To understand this power, one must look within and see that the universe is not separate from the speaker. The words that leave your mouth are but extensions of your inner world, clothed in sound and carried by intention. Thought alone can mold the unseen, but thought clothed in word gains speed, momentum, and life. A silent wish is like a seed resting on a shelf, but when spoken with conviction, it is planted in the fertile soil of universal law. Words water thought. They awaken dormant forces. They call forth helpers, people, circumstances, and opportunities that move invisibly to bring about the picture formed in the imagination. When a person says, I am blessed, that word begins to rearrange their surroundings to reflect blessing. When another says, nothing ever works for me, the same law moves to fulfill that decree. The law does not judge, it merely echoes. It mirrors what is spoken. The spoken word is in order, not a suggestion. It commands the energy around it to take form. Whether the command brings joy or sorrow depends entirely on the consciousness behind it. You can trace nearly every condition in your life back to the words that have filled your days. The murmurs, the declarations, the whispered fears, and the casual complaints. Each of them has shaped something, small or great, in the unfolding pattern of your destiny. People often believe that actions create life's results, forgetting that every action begins as a word, and every word begins as a thought. The chain of creation moves from thought to word to form. Words are the bridge between the invisible and the visible. They take what exists in the realm of imagination and pull it into the realm of matter. When spoken with certainty, words vibrate at a frequency that the universe must obey, for the law of vibration recognizes no distinction between creator and creation. The one who speaks with faith is the universe expressing itself in sound. Consider how a single sentence can change the course of a life. A word of encouragement can lift the weary and ignite a vision that alters a destiny. A word of anger can wound deeply, rippling outward for years. Nations rise and fall on words. Treaties, declarations, promises, and oaths. Every transformation, whether in an individual heart or across the globe, begins when a word is spoken into the silence. Yet how lightly people speak, unaware that each casual utterance is a brushstroke on the portrait of their lives. The idle word is not idle at all. It is a seed that will eventually find soil. To use words rightly, one must become aware of their creative charge. Every statement beginning with "I am" sends a decree to the universe. To say, "I am tired," is not a description. It is an instruction to your body and mind to manifest fatigue. To say, "I am strong," even in weakness, calls forth energy from the invisible storehouse of life. Words do not describe your reality, they create it. Therefore, to change your world, begin by changing your words. Speak of abundance, not lack, of harmony, not discord, of health, not disease. When your words are consistent with the good you desire, life aligns to match that tone. There is an ancient rhythm to creation. In the beginning of all things, the word was spoken, and the word became form. That divine pattern still operates through every soul. Every human being carries that creative spark, the ability to speak worlds into existence. But many speak carelessly, casting words of doubt, fear, or resentment into the ethers. These words accumulate, unseen yet powerful, shaping circumstances that later seem mysterious or unjust. In truth, they are merely the harvest of seeds once sown through speech. To master one's words is to master one's fate. The vibration of a word does not vanish when the sound fades. It lingers, reverberating through the unseen realms, attracting to itself energies of like kind. A word of love continues to bless long after it is spoken. A word of bitterness continues to wound long after it is forgotten. Therefore, every utterance should be chosen with intention, spoken as if the universe were listening closely, because it is. The air is alive with intelligence, and every vibration carries meaning. When you speak truth, when you speak faith, when you speak joy, those qualities imprint themselves upon the fabric of your reality. A person who understands the creative force of words begins to live with a sacred awareness. They no longer engage in idle chatter or self-deprecating humor, for they know that every word plants a seed. They do not speak of misfortune or failure, even in jest, for they refuse to give life to such ideas. Instead, their words become instruments of blessing. They speak light into dark situations, declaring harmony where confusion seems to reign. Their speech becomes like sunlight breaking through clouds, dispersing shadows through the sheer power of conviction. Even science now whispers what mystics have long known: sound shapes matter. In the study of vibration, we see how tone organizes particles into patterns. If mere sound can shape sand or water, how much more can the word, charged with consciousness, shape the circumstances of life? Each phrase, spoken with emotion and belief, sends out a wave that moves through the invisible field of creation, organizing it to reflect the intention behind the sound. This is why prayer, affirmation, and declaration hold such potency. They are not pleas but creative acts. When the heart and tongue are aligned, words become unstoppable. To say, "It is done," with full faith seals a truth that no external condition can overturn. To say, "I am guided," when all appears uncertain, opens unseen pathways of guidance. The spoken word, when harmonized with divine law, carries the weight of creation itself. There is no effort in it, no strain, only the quiet authority of one who knows that the universe listens. Every phrase you utter moves into form. The more you repeat it, the deeper the pattern grows. Words of gratitude expand blessings. Words of complaint magnify obstacles. It is not punishment or reward, it is the precision of law. You are both the speaker and the hearer, the artist and the clay. Life molds itself around your declarations as surely as the echo answers the call. The words you speak today are the experiences that will greet you tomorrow, for creation follows command, and command begins with the word. To speak only what you desire to manifest is to walk as a conscious creator in a universe that listens to every vibration of your voice. The unseen law of life is impartial. It gives form to whatever is spoken with conviction, whether that be faith or fear, love or lack. Each word you speak is a declaration of your inner vision, a blueprint drawn upon the fabric of the invisible. The tongue is the pen of the spirit, and every sentence writes itself into the book of your destiny. To speak of what you do not want is to invite it closer, for the universe does not distinguish between jest and seriousness, between hope and despair. It only responds to vibration, to focus, to the emotional charge behind your words. Therefore, to speak only what you desire is to align your voice with the creative rhythm of divine law. When you speak of what you desire, you breathe life into it. The desire begins as a silent spark in the heart, but words are the wind that fan that spark into flame. To say, "I am open to abundance," is to open the gates through which abundance flows. To say, "I never have enough," is to build a wall that keeps it out. Each phrase you utter becomes a living thing that moves ahead of you, preparing conditions that will mirror your declaration. The universe is an echo chamber of consciousness, reflecting back to you the song you sing. Speak discord, and you meet confusion. Speak harmony, and peace arranges itself around you. To master speech is to master manifestation. Many wonder why their affirmations do not bear fruit, yet they do not notice how often they contradict themselves. They speak abundance in the morning and lack by evening. They declare health in prayer, but speak illness in conversation. The creative power of words cannot flow through a divided tongue. What is spoken must be consistent, unwavering, sure. The soil of creation cannot yield a mixed harvest. You cannot plant roses and thorns in the same garden and expect beauty alone to bloom. The words you choose each day water your dreams or your doubts. They nourish the seeds of your desire or the weeds of your fear. Speaking only what you desire does not mean denying reality. It means refusing to give your energy to what you no longer wish to perpetuate. When you focus your speech on the good you seek, you align with higher law, where things unseen are more real than appearances. To say, "I am free," while bound by limitation, is not to deceive yourself, but to claim your inheritance. Words are creative declarations, not reflections of present conditions. They are the chisels that carve reality from the unseen stone of possibility. Every time you speak of freedom, joy, prosperity, or love, you set in motion vibrations that gather their likeness from the infinite field of substance. There is great discipline in this practice. The mind loves to wander to complaint, to speak of delay, to describe what is wrong. Yet every word describing limitation strengthens the very thing you wish to dissolve. When you speak of the problem, you lend it your power. When you speak of the solution, you summon the power that dissolves the problem entirely. The wise understand that words are energy and that energy flows wherever attention goes. By keeping the tongue centered on what is desired, you keep creation aligned with your highest good. This is why great teachers have always emphasized right speech. They knew that the universe is responsive, alive, conscious, and that every word sets into motion a magnetic current that draws its likeness. To say, "It always works out for me," calls unseen forces to arrange outcomes in your favor. To say, "Nothing ever works," seals that experience as law. It is not superstition but precision, the exact law of resonance. Life mirrors your declarations with unfailing accuracy. When you understand this, you become careful, selective, intentional. You begin to speak with purpose, not from habit. Every word becomes a seed you plant with faith, and you choose only those that will yield a harvest of joy. Your words are not separate from your desires. They are the vehicle through which your desires take shape. When you give them voice, they move from the realm of thought to the realm of vibration, and vibration is the beginning of all manifestation. To desire silently is the conception of an idea. To speak that desire is its birth. Once spoken, it begins to take on form, attracting conditions, people, and opportunities that match its frequency. If your words are colored with doubt, the form that returns to you is incomplete, unstable, fleeting. But when your words are spoken in faith, they carry the full authority of creation. Faith gives them substance. Doubt drains them of life. To speak only what you desire requires that you guard your mouth as a treasure gate. Do not speak of illness if you seek health. Do not speak of poverty if you seek prosperity. Do not speak of fear if you seek peace. Replace complaint with gratitude, for gratitude multiplies every good thing it touches. Replace worry with assurance, for assurance is the language of divine trust. When your speech becomes a vessel of faith, it calls forth miracles from the unseen. You will find that the world bends to accommodate your declarations, that doors open without effort, and that harmony follows your footsteps. Every conversation becomes a choice, to reinforce what you desire or to reinforce what you resist. The casual remarks, the small talk, the passing complaints, each of them carries creative force. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between formal affirmations and idle chatter. It accepts every word as command. Therefore, train your tongue to speak blessings, even in jest, to declare good even in difficulty. When others speak of lack, do not join them. When they predict failure, remain silent or speak success. The company of your words determines the quality of your vibration. There is power in speaking of your desires as though they are already fulfilled. To say, "I am prosperous," even before the outer evidence appears, is to claim your rightful inheritance from the field of potential. The universe responds not to need, but to recognition. When you speak as though your desire is already yours, you align yourself with the frequency of fulfillment. The unseen substance begins to crystallize around that conviction, shaping itself into visible form. The one who speaks lack receives lack, for the word has given it life. The one who speaks abundance receives abundance, for the word has opened the channel. Silence can be golden, but speech directed by faith is divine. To remain silent in doubt is better than to speak in fear, but to speak in confidence, to declare what you desire without wavering, is to engage the law of manifestation at its highest level. Words are not fragile things to be spoken carelessly. They are instruments of creation. Every time you open your mouth, you wield a sacred tool, and with it you shape worlds. Therefore, use it as the Creator intended, to call forth light, to speak harmony, to declare good, and to bring into being the desires of your heart. When you choose your words with care and fill them with belief, they move ahead of you like messengers, preparing paths of ease and opportunity. They enter the hearts of others, inspire right actions, dissolve obstacles, and attract that which is in harmony with their tone. Speak of beauty, and beauty will meet you. Speak of joy, and joy will follow you. Speak only what you desire to manifest, for every word is a decree, every sentence a creation, and every affirmation a step toward the unseen promise waiting to take form. The words I am hold the highest vibration known to the human tongue. They are the purest expression of divine authority, the sacred key through which creation moves from the unseen into the seen. Every time you utter I am, you speak not as a beggar of life, but as a creator within it. Those two words are the secret doorway between thought and manifestation, between what is imagined and what becomes. They do not describe who you are, they define who you become. Whatever follows I am begins to gather substance, energy, and life from the invisible realm, drawing circumstances that match the decree you have spoken. To say, I am, is to invoke the power of divine law. It is to place the seal of reality upon your words. Most people speak I am unconsciously, never realizing they are setting laws into motion with every phrase that follows. They say, I am tired, and fatigue deepens. They say, I am unlucky, and misfortune aligns with their vibration. They say, I am alone, and loneliness answers like an echo in a cavern, yet those same words, spoken with awareness, can build kingdoms. To say, I am whole, I am guided, I am loved, I am prosperous, is to command creation to take shape around those truths. The universe listens to I am as the voice of its own source, for I am is the language of the infinite within the finite, the eternal calling itself into expression through the individual. In every age, the sages, prophets, and mystics have spoken of this truth in veiled ways, for it is too powerful to be handled lightly. I am is the name of divine presence, the vibration of existence itself. To misuse it is to misuse power. To declare I am afraid, I am hopeless, or I am unworthy, is to use the name of power in vain, not in reverence but in limitation. Every I am statement is a mold into which life pours its energy. The form it takes depends entirely on what fills that mold: faith or fear, love or doubt, abundance or lack. The law is exact. Whatever follows I am must appear. When you begin to use I am consciously, you awaken the inner architect who has always been at work shaping your life according to your word. You realize that you are not at the mercy of external conditions, for the condition of your life flows from the decree of your consciousness. You understand that you are not a victim of chance, but a vessel of divine command. Each I am you speak is a seed dropped into the soil of universal law, and that law cannot help but bring forth what has been planted. The soil does not ask whether the seed is good or bad. It simply grows whatever is given. So too, the universe grows every I am into form. There is no phrase more potent than I am, for it links your individuality to the infinite. It unites your breath with the breath of creation. When you say I am strong, you call upon the strength of the universe itself. When you say I am at peace, peace begins to unfold like dawn breaking over shadow. When you say I am divine supply, every avenue of provision opens to meet your need. The outer world shifts to reflect the inner conviction, because the inner word has spoken. The invisible substance hears and obeys. It must, for I am is the original creative sound from which all existence emerged. There is profound simplicity in this power. It does not require struggle, force, or repetition. It requires awareness. It requires feeling. The I am that transforms is not the one spoken mechanically, but the one infused with faith, spoken from the center of knowing. When you declare I am free, and you feel the vibration of freedom moving through you even before the evidence appears, that word becomes flesh. It draws to you the conditions that mirror that freedom. The I am statement is not wishful thinking. It is the declaration of truth before appearance catches up. It is the law of creation, spoken in the language of certainty. Most of the suffering in life arises from the misuse of I am. People declare limitation again and again, reinforcing walls that only their words sustain. They say, I am stuck, and so they are. They say, I am too old, and the body obeys. They say, I am unlucky, and life arranges itself to fulfill that prophecy. Yet, when they reverse the decree, the entire pattern shifts. To replace "I am stuck" with "I am moving forward with ease" begins a new creation. The energy that once stagnated begins to flow. Every "I am" creates movement, for it is the breath of being, and being is never static. There is an art to using "I am." It must be spoken with reverence, as one handling sacred fire. Each time you speak it, pause inwardly. Feel its vibration fill your being. Know that the universe is listening. Then complete it only with words you wish to see made flesh. Speak them not as though they might be, but as though they already are. "I am successful" must not be spoken with longing, but with certainty, as if success already stands before you. "I am loved" must not be spoken as a hope, but as a recognition of eternal truth. The "I am" statement aligns you with the version of yourself that already exists in the higher plane of reality, and once spoken, the outer world must rearrange to match it. The subconscious mind takes every "I am" as command. It does not reason, it does not question. It simply creates according to the image impressed upon it. The conscious mind may doubt, but if the word is spoken often and with feeling, the subconscious accepts it as truth and sets about to manifest it. This is why affirmations, when used rightly, are not mere words. They are tools of transformation. The more you charge an "I am" statement with faith, the faster it takes root. The more you repeat it with gratitude, the more energy gathers around it. It becomes a magnetic current, drawing the visible into alignment with the invisible word. To live consciously with "I am" is to live in continual awareness of your divine partnership with creation. You no longer say "I am poor," for you recognize that every such statement builds poverty. You no longer say "I am sick," for you know those words give form to illness. Instead you say "I am radiant life." I am abundance in expression. I am guided by infinite wisdom. The more you speak these truths, the more they become reality, for every spoken word is a cause seeking its corresponding effect. Even silence holds the echo of "I am." When you cease to speak limitation, the vibration of wholeness begins to fill the space. The absence of negative words creates room for truth to unfold. To speak only consciously, to guard the sacred phrase "I am" as a treasure, is to reclaim your creative authority. You begin to notice that everything in your world reflects the words you have used: your relationships, your work, your health, your peace. All of it bears the imprint of countless "I am" declarations made consciously or unconsciously through time. The "I am" principle reveals that creation is not outside of you, it flows through you. You are not seeking to make something happen, but to recognize what already is. When you say, "I am love," you are not summoning love from afar. You are awakening the love that is already the essence of your being. When you say, "I am abundance," you are not attracting wealth from the outer world. You are releasing the abundance that flows through all of life. The power of "I am" lies in recognition, not in effort. It is the acknowledgement of truth, not the manufacture of illusion. Each time you speak "I am," you step into the authority of creation. You speak as the divine within you, and life answers accordingly. The wind moves, the waters part, the substance rearranges itself, because the voice of truth has spoken. This is the eternal power entrusted to every soul, to create through the sacred word, to declare through "I am" the reality one chooses to experience. Words must align with belief and emotion, for without harmony between speech, thought, and feeling, the creative current of life cannot flow freely. The spoken word is the vessel, belief is the compass, and emotion is the wind that carries it into manifestation. When these three work together, miracles unfold with ease, for the universe responds not to words alone, but to the vibration behind them. To speak words of faith while feeling fear is to send out conflicting signals that cancel each other, leaving creation suspended between possibility and doubt. The law of manifestation is precise and unfailing. Only that which is spoken with conviction, felt with certainty, and believed with the whole heart can take form in the outer world. The words of power are those that arise from inner knowing, not from empty repetition. To say, "I am prosperous," while secretly feeling lack is to speak in vain, for the vibration of lack overpowers the sound of the words. The universe is not deceived by phrases, it reads the energy beneath them. The emotion is the true message, the silent signature that declares whether the word is rooted in faith or in fear. When belief and emotion join the spoken word, they become one force moving as divine command. The words spoken with such alignment are creative decrees that no circumstance can resist, for they are born of unity within the self. Emotion is the language of the soul. It is the fire that gives life to thought. Without it, speech is hollow sound, a shell without spirit. When you feel your words as living truth, they move into the unseen and begin to draw to themselves their likeness. Every word carries the vibration of the feeling that accompanies it. Speak with joy, and you create joy. Speak with resentment, and resentment multiplies. Speak with gratitude, and abundance blossoms. Words charged with emotion become magnetic, drawing from the infinite storehouse of creation that which matches their tone. Belief is the steady foundation upon which words rest. It is the silent assurance that what is spoken is already true. Without belief, even the most beautiful words drift into nothingness. Belief is not hope, it is knowing. Hope waits, belief declares. Hope wishes, belief claims. The words of belief are firm, unwavering, calm. They do not beg or plead. They command with the authority of divine law. When your belief is strong, you can speak a single word and know it will fulfill its purpose, for it carries the weight of truth. The mind and the heart must walk together for creation to be complete. If the lips speak one thing and the heart feels another, the two forces pull against each other and creation stalls. The mind may say, "I am healed," but if the heart still feels fear, the vibration of disease continues to radiate outward. The heart's emotion is the power that colors the vibration of the word. It determines whether the word rises like light or sinks like stone. To align word, belief, and emotion is to stand in the perfect balance where thought becomes form. This alignment begins within. It requires that you become conscious of every statement you make and of the feeling that travels with it. When you speak, pause for a moment to feel whether your emotion matches your word. If you say, "I am at peace," but feel tension, take a breath and allow peace to enter your feeling before speaking again. When the inner vibration matches the outer word, your declaration carries the true tone of creation. The universe responds instantly to that harmony, for it recognizes itself in the unity of thought, word, and feeling. It is not the loudness of the voice, but the purity of its vibration that determines the power of a word. Whispered words of faith, spoken with full conviction and feeling, move mountains more swiftly than shouts of doubt. The creative law does not measure sound, it measures energy. The faintest phrase spoken in alignment with belief and emotion becomes a living current, drawing its likeness through invisible channels. It does not labor or strive, it flows effortlessly because it is true. Many people speak affirmations yet see no change because they have not yet harmonized their inner vibration with their outer declaration. They speak of abundance while feeling fear of poverty, or of love while feeling unworthy. The universe cannot bring forth two opposing vibrations. It will always mirror the stronger of the two. Thus, emotion becomes the deciding force. The feeling you hold within is the magnet, and the word is the command that directs that magnet. To change your experience, you must change not only your speech, but the feeling behind it. Belief grows through repetition and experience. Each time your words align with your faith and emotion, and a result follows, your confidence deepens. You begin to trust the law, to see that it never fails. Then belief becomes effortless, natural, steady. You no longer try to believe, you simply know. And from that knowing, every word you speak carries authority. This is the point of mastery, where even a quiet thought, if felt with certainty, manifests swiftly and precisely. Emotion can be trained as belief can be strengthened. To feel joy, imagine joy. To feel abundance, remember gratitude. The feeling does not need to depend on circumstance, it can be summoned by choice. When you choose to feel as though your word is already fulfilled, the vibration of fulfillment becomes your signal to the universe. This is why visualization and affirmation work. They create a bridge between feeling and word, teaching the heart to align with the spoken decree. It is also true that unspoken emotions influence words. When anger, fear, or despair linger beneath the surface, even kind words lose their power. The tone betrays the heart. The vibration of the voice carries the hidden feeling, and the universe responds to that vibration, not the surface phrase. Therefore, purify your inner state. Speak only when your heart and word can agree. Let your speech come from peace, not struggle, from faith, not doubt. Then every word becomes a channel of creative light. The alignment of word, belief, and emotion creates coherence, a state where energy flows without resistance. Coherence is the key to effortless creation. It is the invisible current that draws harmony into form. When your words match your feelings and your beliefs, life responds in perfect rhythm. Opportunities appear, relationships heal, paths open, because you are no longer divided within yourself. The law of correspondence acts swiftly when there is unity of vibration. The creative process follows a sacred sequence. Thought gives rise to word, word awakens emotion, emotion fuels belief, and belief completes manifestation. To interrupt this chain with doubt or contradiction is to scatter the energy. To keep it intact is to move as a conscious creator. Speak your word, feel its truth, believe in its certainty, and let it move forth without resistance. Every part of creation obeys that sequence, from the blooming of a flower to the unfolding of destiny. The universe is not compelled by empty phrases, but by living vibration. It responds to the sound that carries conviction. When you align belief and emotion with your words, you become the tuning fork of divine law, and all of creation begins to harmonize with your frequency. You are no longer speaking about your desire. You are speaking as your desire. You vibrate as the thing fulfilled, and the outer world, obedient to vibration, mirrors it back to you. Every true creation is born from this alignment. The sculptor must feel the statue before he shapes the stone. The musician must hear the melody in his soul before the note is played. The speaker must believe his words before they are heard. The artist within each soul is the same, to bring the unseen into the seen through perfect unity of thought, word, and feeling. When these are one, creation becomes effortless, for life itself rushes to complete the pattern. Praise and blessing transform energy into abundance, for they are the highest vibrations that the soul can emit. They are the sunlight of the spirit, turning even the coldest shadow into warmth and life. When you speak words of praise, you lift your entire being onto a higher plane of vibration, where good flows freely and the heart opens to receive. To bless is to release divine power, to acknowledge the presence of good where the senses may see none. Praise and blessing are not mere expressions of politeness. They are forces of creation, reshaping substance into harmony, health, and prosperity. Every word of blessing carries within it a spark of divine light, and wherever that light is directed, it heals, multiplies, and restores. The act of praise is the recognition of perfection behind appearance. It is the soul's declaration that good exists, even when unseen. When you praise, you align yourself with divine law, for you affirm the truth rather than the illusion. To complain is to dwell in limitation, but to praise is to rise above it. Praise lifts the consciousness out of the narrow valley of doubt into the wide mountain air of faith. When you praise, you open invisible gates. You make way for increase. The vibration of praise calls abundance into form, just as the rising sun calls forth the flowers to bloom. The one who lives in praise lives in continual creation, for gratitude and recognition magnetize every good thing. Blessing is praise made personal. It is the directed word of love that multiplies whatever it touches. When you bless your work, it prospers. When you bless your body, it strengthens. When you bless your relationships, harmony unfolds. To bless someone who opposes you is to release yourself from bondage, for blessing dissolves the heavy vibration of resentment and restores the soul to freedom. The moment you bless, you connect to divine flow. Blessing never diminishes you. It increases both the giver and the receiver. It transforms the energy of separation into unity, the vibration of fear into love, the appearance of lack into abundance. Energy follows attention, and praise directs attention toward the good. Whatever you praise expands, for your focus is the invitation by which life enters. When you speak of goodness, the universe rushes to display more of it. When you speak of beauty, beauty multiplies. When you bless what you have, it increases, because you have recognized its value. The law of increase is simple. What you appreciate, appreciates. Praise and blessing are the language of expansion, the sound that turns scarcity into plenty. Every grateful word acts as a seed, and the soil of the universe, ever fertile, brings forth its kind. Many souls live in complaint and wonder why they remain surrounded by struggle. Complaint lowers vibration, binding one to the very conditions one resists. It is the language of fear and separation. Praise, however, dissolves resistance and invites flow. When you praise, even in difficulty, you acknowledge that divine order is at work, and by that acknowledgement, the order reveals itself. The situation shifts, the door opens, the need is met, because praise has transformed energy. What once was an obstacle becomes a channel of blessing. Every time you choose praise over complaint, you change the direction of your life. Force from stagnation to creation. The vibration of praise is creative because it harmonizes the self with the source of all good. In praise, there is no struggle, no demand, no fear. There is only acknowledgement and trust. You become like a tuning fork, resonating with the highest frequencies of the universe, and every note of your existence aligns accordingly. Praise draws to you people and circumstances that match its tone. It clears the path before you and fills the atmosphere around you with light. It is the invisible magnet that gathers success, peace, and joy from the unseen realm and brings them into expression. To practice praise is to discipline the mind to see beyond appearances. It is to look at what seems broken and call it whole, to look at what seems lost and call it found. The power of blessing lies in its ability to override evidence with truth. You do not bless because something is perfect. You bless because blessing perfects it. You do not praise because life is easy. You praise because praise makes it so. Every blessing spoken is an act of faith, a declaration that divine order governs all things. The universe responds to such words with generosity, for it always mirrors the consciousness of its creator. When you bless another, you send forth a current of love that returns multiplied. To bless your enemies is to free yourself from their influence, for blessing breaks every chain of negativity. Hatred binds, blessing liberates. The moment you speak words of goodwill toward those who oppose you, the vibration of conflict dissolves. Peace flows in, and the outer situation rearranges itself to reflect that peace. Blessing is not weakness, but strength. It is the mastery of energy. It transforms discord into harmony because it recognizes no separation between giver and receiver. In blessing another, you bless yourself, for all are connected in the one life. Praise and blessing must become habits of thought and speech. They are not to be reserved for moments of comfort, but practiced in every circumstance. When faced with lack, praise the abundance that is coming. When confronted with delay, bless the perfect timing unfolding. When tempted to fear, praise the divine protection surrounding you. Each word of praise opens a door that fear has closed. The more you bless, the less room there is for worry, for blessing fills the mind with light and the heart with peace. Emotion is the power that gives praise its strength. A cold word of gratitude carries little force, but a heartfelt expression of praise vibrates through every layer of reality. Feel the truth of your words as you speak them. Let joy rise in your heart as you declare the good that is unfolding. Feel love as you bless the people and conditions in your life. The emotion charges the word with life. It propels it into creation. The universe feels your feeling before it hears your sound, and the depth of that feeling determines the power of your manifestation. Every great transformation begins with praise. The soul that lives in gratitude sees opportunity where others see obstacles. The one who blesses every experience discovers hidden treasures in every circumstance. Praise changes perception, and perception changes creation. It shifts the focus from what is missing to what is possible, from what hurts to what heals. The very act of praising lifts the consciousness above the level of the problem to the level of the solution. It is impossible to dwell in lack while praising abundance. The two vibrations cannot exist together. Even the smallest blessings multiply when acknowledged. Bless the food before you eat it, and it nourishes more deeply. Bless your home, and peace fills its walls. Bless your work, and inspiration flows through every task. Bless the path ahead, and every step becomes light. The power of blessing lies not in ceremony, but in sincerity. A simple word of praise, spoken from the heart, carries more creative force than 1,000 empty rituals. It is the living connection between the human and the divine. The secret of praise is that it changes the one who gives it. Through praise, the mind is purified, the heart is expanded, and the soul remembers its divine nature. Every time you speak words of blessing, you align more closely with the universal rhythm of creation. You begin to see good everywhere, and in seeing it, you draw more of it into form. Praise clears the vision. It makes you aware of the abundance that has always been present, waiting for recognition. The world does not need to change before praise is possible. Praise itself is the change that reveals the good already there. To live in continual praise is to live in continual creation. It is to walk through the world as a channel of divine increase, knowing that every word of blessing multiplies what it touches. It is to speak light into darkness, harmony into discord, plenty into want, simply by recognizing that all good is present and unfolding through the power of your word.